So today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the movie Waking Life. Some of you might compare it or have it in your mind that it's similar to Scanner Darkly. To me, they're totally different movies other than they were done in the same manner. They were both filmed live action and then animated over, which is a really cool concept because there's so many things you could do with it, but they're completely separate movies. Richard Linklater is the one who wrote and directed both of them, I believe. But let's focus on Waking Life. It came out in 2001. And that same writer has done quite a few. He did Scanner Darkly, Fast Food Nation, School of Rock, Before Sunset, and he even has those characters from Before Sunset in part of Waking Life, like they do a little scene, which is kind of cool to bring those characters back. So Ethan Hawke and Julie Deply are both in it, playing their role, and theirs is actually really interesting. That's one of my favorite ones. There's also one that talks about anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. And the director is actually in the movie. He's both near the beginning. He's driving this boat car. He has some great things to say, and then he's later on at the end playing a pinball machine. So it's cool that he makes a cameo. Since he did write it all, it's nice for him to be able to say some of his own material. So it's a rotoscoped film, and that's when you film it all in live action and then animate over it. And the main star of it, who's also in Dazed and Confused, apparently also helped animate parts of it. Wiley Wiggins is his name. Some of you may remember him from Dazed and Confused. He's been in a couple other things, but he hasn't really done too much. So this is a movie that I suggest watching in parts, personally. I watched it over 3 days, and I found it was a lot easier to take in, because it's a lot of philosophical ideas all thrown at you at once, all in different ways, all by different people, and I really liked having the time to think about it, because it's just one after the other. So essentially it follows this boy, or this man, through what you find out is sort of a lucid dream, and all these different conversations that he has with people, or that he eavesdrops on, and also there's some rants and whatnot. They also get to play a little bit with the animation on top of it. This one time this woman's talking about language, and how it's inert, it's dead. And it's one of my favorite speeches. It's fantastic. And over the side of her, when she's saying symbols, her hair is turning into symbols and stuff. And when she says saber-toothed tiger, all behind her goes tiger colors. And just her explanation is so interesting. Richard is fantastic to have written all this. I'd love to sit down and have an in-depth conversation with him over many of these things. They're just such neat concepts. Some of them are meh. Some of them I totally fast forward through. But there's just so many of them that I really, really enjoyed, and that got me to thinking, and I just love it when you're watching a movie and you're like, yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah, you got that right. And I felt like this was a movie that there were enough parts in it that made me do that, and so it's a movie that I keep watching. To give you an example of things they talk about the meaninglessness of life, language. They also talk about the cells in your body and how they change throughout your life, and that after a certain amount of years, technically, so many of your cells have changed over that you're no longer that person that you were. They also talk about reality, they touch on existentialism, free will, and they also talk about lucid dreaming, which I found so interesting, and you can actually do it! Isn't that insane? Okay, so lucid dreaming is where you're aware that you're dreaming and you can actually do things in your dreams. Now, it's something you have to practice at, because I find often when you realize that you're dreaming, you'll wake yourself up. But if you work on it, eventually you're able to do things in dreams. The one lucid dream that I did have, I was so what's it like to be someone in a dream? I feel like I should have asked deep questions. I'll have to prepare myself mentally for the next lucid dream. So, if you're looking for a movie that will make you think, this is definitely not a movie to play at a party. This is a movie where it's going to be quiet, just yourself, or you and a couple friends, but it's definitely something you want to sit down, pay attention to. I enjoyed, sometimes I've watched this movie with a friend, paused it, and then we talk about what we just heard and expand on it and talk about things that we agree with, disagree with. It's always been really interesting. It's a really thought-provoking movie, and I hope you guys like it. Comment below if you've seen it or after you see it. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks. Son. Or anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. When you're yeah, I totally agree with that. Or you and one other friend.